Prem Namaste, Namaskaram, and a warm welcome to Sunday Sadhana, your favorite Hindu magazine program on SABC2. We are 18 years into our South African democracy, and this week's show reveals the joy of freedom as well as some lingering struggles. We see a real celebration of colours and cultures coming together at the University of Johannesburg, where Tribangi Productions hosted their Into the Light show. And we join the Arya Yuvak Samaj of Clairwood during their 80th anniversary, where the accolade of yeoman service, especially with Hindi classes, seems tempered with the trials and tribulations residents of Clairwood still face. In keeping with the Ramayan theme of light over darkness, experts in the fields of Indian culture and dance met with the technology of special effects theatre to bring forth a brilliant production entitled Into the Light. Sunday Sadhana was present at the UJ Arts Centre, where the story of Lord Ram was retold in a rather novel, spectacular Mzansi way.
This shadow puppetry is little known in South Africa. In India, we use puppets, and shadow puppets are a huge part of the art forms, the traditional art forms. So we thought, let's appreciate our heritage through these stories and productions.
It's just the Indian culture is so rich with stories, and we found it a perfect kind of basis to use our shadow theatre.
It's very different. I mean, we're hoping that it would be something that people will want to get out of their homes to come and see, because it has all the different elements of shadow puppetry, dance, mime, beautiful music.
My role as a representative of the Lotteries Board is to be involved with projects that we fund. Projects that we fund that will make a difference to the lives of South Africans, to give South African artists an opportunity, to give South African artists a stage on which to perform.
I play the part of Valmiki, who originally actually wrote the first epic of the Ramayana.
It's a very multicultural cast. We've got Poco, who are all Afrikaner people, and they wrote the script, by the way. Rama is played by Ntlantla, Sita is played by Priya, and we have Dasaratha played by Zak Hendricks. So, I mean, what can I say? It's South Africa. This story, it has so much of symbolism, you know. There's negative, positive, knowledge, ignorance, light, dark. You know, it conjures up all these little things in our minds.
It's the victory of light over dark. It's the victory that we as South Africans have celebrated since 1994. It's important that we see this. It's important that we have this carried on, and we remember and we retain our traditions and the cultures, the diverse cultures in South Africa.
You can get very enraptured in the story, you know, because of the scenes and things like that. But that's the deeper meaning, because that's what the basis of Hinduism is. It's a philosophy. It teaches you daily things that happens in daily life. It's nothing far-fetched and out of this world.
Impressed. A lotus-eyed and beautiful boy. A prince by all the world adored.
I love Ram. I have been blessed richly with the sons I saw.
And love that I accept this honored duty.
I will rule with pride
and passion.
It's not a story that you can easily put together. Here we're bringing it to stage and to a South African audience. So we had to try not to simplify it, because you can't simplify a story of this nature, but highlight certain aspects by being entertaining, being educating, all at the same time.
I have lived long enough with this clumsy belief.
You look at the bigger meaning and the deeper meaning of Into the Light is that we all need to move into being positive, into embracing the universe in a very positive way.
We wanted to go into the light. We wanted to overcome that darkness. So we're looking at lessons we can learn. Lessons we can learn from our past and that we can take with us and move forward.
What anyone can take out of this show is beauty, and the beauty of life and of culture and being proud of where you come from, and also to be able to share that beauty and that culture with everyone else.
Om Shri Ramaya Namaha.
There's a lot of issues of tolerance and respect that comes through the story. And I think that's what teaches us as people, you know, to be tolerant, to be respectful to each other, to be generous to each other.
Believing that grief must have struck his mother mad, he asked to know what sickness it was that took his father. But KK just turned away and said, no sickness took Dasarat, but...
I'm looking for the deeper meaning, and we're hoping that will come through the whole production, because that's what we wanted to do.
The pioneering people of Clairwood first began the teaching of Hindi from humble rooms of a wood and iron house. Today, the Hindi classes continue in modern facilities, albeit with falling numbers, as most residents succumb to the threat of ever-encroaching industrial development. Sunday Sadhana visited the samaj during their 80th anniversary celebrations.
Today is a milestone in the history of this institution. We are celebrating 80 years of illustrious service to the community of Clairwood. Our service primarily involves the promotion of Hindu Dharma, Hindu culture, and Hindi language.
Indeed, it is a very historical day for us, and therefore it is very momentous. The period that we are celebrating is about 80 years of our existence.
Initially, Clairwood had the biggest concentration of Indians outside India. It was the vision of the founder of this institution, Mr. R.B. Bhushan, who saw the need for an institution like the Yuvak Arya Samaj. And he got a band of people together. He told them about his idea of forming an institution to promote Hindu culture, Hindu religion, and the Hindi language. And this is how the Yuvak Arya Samaj Clairwood was born in his house on the 4th of April, 1932.
This particular institution, teaching the Hindi language, has its very, very humble beginning. We actually saw the commencement of the teaching of the language in a home by using a room as a classroom in the home for the purpose of promoting the Hindi language.
People rallied around and built a 2-classroom wooden iron building, was replaced much later by the hall that you find standing now. Many years later, when the community grew, there was a need for expansion. The community rallied around and built that hall.
People in other areas began to also do the same as it was done in Clairwood. And this became known as the Yuvak Arya Samaj at a gathering where this particular name was actually stamped for this particular organization. And up till today, it is the educational and religious institution that promotes our culture.
As Clairwood was becoming more and more industrialized, lots of residents moved out of Clairwood, and our pupil enrollment dropped, started to dwindle over the years. But we're proud to say we're one of the very few samajas that's been operating with Hindi classes for 80 years.
There are lots of people, my family, most of them still live in Clairwood. they wouldn't leave this area. They will stay here till the very last day. A few years ago, the City Council had come to a decision. There was a draft plan to industrialize the outlying areas of Clairwood, and they were going to retain the core residential area for the people of Clairwood. But that now has changed as well. So the goalpost in terms of Clairwood keeps shifting every few years.
Up to this particular day, the language has been maintained by those who are in the command of the institution that is running this particular organization.
We're a very small organization, but very dedicated.
Today, we celebrate 80 years of service to the community of Clairwood. And we want to pay homage, we want to pay tribute to the founding fathers of this institution, their vision and their foresight in establishing an institution of this nature.
Yes, it's once again time to remember our struggles and our achievements as a country. We salute the efforts of our forebears as we cherish their legacy. Even amidst our current outer struggles, we can be peaceful inside. Rabindranath Tagore once said, "It is very simple to be happy, but it is very difficult to be simple." So keep up the sadhana, and until next week, Om Shanti.